Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of Hobby Link. Now today it's going to be a shorter video and it's a flight simulator again, and we're here in St. Bartholomew again for the second time, but you might notice that it looks, well, a tiny bit different. Okay, the aircraft look better, the scenery looks, well, better, and in general it looks so different. So what are we playing in? Well, we are actually playing in FSX at the moment, so this is a better flight simulator. You have to pay, obviously, flight gear is free, but is it worth the extra 20 quid or something that FSX is? Yes, and also it runs really well on low-end PCs like mine, so that's cool because I've got it on like maximum graphics and it still works super well. It's a tiny bit laggy now because I'm recording, but that will probably clear up when we get into the sky. But as you can see, it looks beautiful. This St. Bartholomew is actually like an add-on. It's a freeware add-on, so you don't have to pay anything extra for it. But I definitely recommend getting an add-on because the original St. Bartholomew is pretty bad. Now, looking behind us, you can see the infamous hill. It's interesting and it's fun watching the cars wobbling down the streets a bit. But there we go. Right, so we're now going to set off down the runway, so we're going to release the parking brakes. We're here in a Beechcraft Baron 58, I believe, so release the parking brakes. I got my joystick plugged in, and you'll probably quickly see the difference in physics between the two games. So you also notice the scenery, it looks a ton better. Now I forgot to extend flaps, but we're off anyway. There we go. Right, lovely. As you can see, the scenery looks incredible compared to Flight Gear. Flight Gear looks pretty awful, to be honest, compared to this. And it's definitely worth the extra money I paid for it. As well as the flight sim being so much more advanced, as well as you can scroll up and you can talk to the ATC. So, for example, I have no idea where Juliana is. Let's say we wanted to land back on St. Bartholomew. We go airport list, we go St. Bartholomew, right? And then we can tune traffic. And we select a runway for landing. We want to land on runway 10. Runway 10. Announce full stop landing. Now, because it's not an airspace that is actually owned, it means that we only announce our landing rather than actually having to talk to ATC. But in a minute I'll probably fly to Saba and what's the other one? St. Oh yeah, Princess Juliana Airport, because Princess Juliana will certainly have ATC because it is quite a major airport, and we can land some bigger stuff there. For example, this is an add-on I definitely recommend going. So basically, in the base game there's about 30 aeroplanes. I don't know, I might be exaggerating that a little, but there's quite a few. But the skins they come with are limited, come with like airlines that don't exist in the real world and things, so that's a shame. But there's plenty of liveries packs out there, and I've got a livery pack for 180 liveries for the Boeing 737, so I will show you that in a minute. But 180 liveries is a lot, and I can fly a lot, and as an excuse for my hard landings I am probably going to fly Ryanair. But let's just get right, we're on the downlift leg. Okay, we're now going to turn this way. Right, we're going to throttle down a bit. Flaps will need to go to full because it's a tiny runway. But other than that, this flight sim is way more advanced. Number one, what you instantly notice when you're actually flying the aeroplanes is the fact that they fly properly. They have no weird physics like you get in Flight Gear. Number two, the water looks like water. When you crash, Flight Gear physics are a bit, not Flight Gear, FSX physics are a bit interesting, but we can live with that. But as you can see, at the moment, this island, I think it's Guadeloupe, looks amazing. Right, so just over there to our left, on the left of the screen, you can see where we're going to land. So we're going to throttle right back now. We're going to put a scroll, and then we're going to announce that we're on final. Here we go.
Tango Foxtrot, Juliet, traffic, Beach, November, 7-1, Foxtrot.
Right, there we go. We announced our position, and it's getting slightly laggy again as we get towards the ground, but that again is just because I'm recording. This will run fine. Now, PC specs, I have a really bad computer. Okay, I have a laptop without a graphics card, with an integrated graphics card. So an Intel UHD 620, 8 gigs RAM, and a Core i5 8265U. Ooh! Oh, I forgot something mildly important. Well, that is how you don't land an aeroplane. You're getting off back the gears out now, and we can just say, look at that landing, that was perfect. Well, apart from the landing being pretty hard anyway, that wasn't even that bad. So we're just going to ignore that. We're probably going to go to the next airport. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so I personally am from Britain, so I always love a good British Airways skin, and this plane is really loud. But apart from that, this is a British Airways Twin Otter. Now, Twin Otters are famous for being able to take off from stupidly short runways and land at stupidly short runways. So we're going to do both right now at Saba Airport. So we've taxied to the end of the runway because it spawns you in a weird position. The cockpit view is not the best on this aircraft, and that's because it is a freeware download. I haven't actually paid and bought any DLC or any paidware for this flight sim since I got it, and I'm doing fine. So you don't need to spend more money. There's lots of options where you can, but you don't need to. Right, let's taxi around. Doesn't have the best turning circle ever, but as you can see, again, this is an add-on airport. Definitely get add-on airports. Just type up the airport name followed by FSX freeware, and it will come up with that. Right, here we go. So we're going to put down a little bit of flap. I'm going to put on the parking brake, so we're going to click control period, or control full stop as I would call it, and now we're going to throttle up all the way so that our nose digs into the ground, and now we're going to release the brakes, and that is called a static takeoff, which means that we're going straight full throttle from static, and that means that we should, there we go, pull off the ground with plenty of time to spare. Now, as you can see with Saba Airport, it's on a very small peninsula, so it is very hard to land on. But, however, the good news is that it's not going to be that hard for us, because we're in a Twin Otter which has reverse engines. Now, the good thing about FSX is you can go onto the world and then map here in the top corner, and that means you can move around your plane, you can edit your height, your speed, and your heading. And that means that I can line it up ready for approach, so I'll do that now. Right, okay, so we're back on final approach. You can see the airport down there. We're a lot too high. I'm going to put the flaps to full so that it's ready for when we land. There we go. Now we're just going to come down gently. Now you can see the scenery here looks, again, stunning. Now, if you are having problems with, let's say, when you download the freeware Bartholomew, I had problems originally. So basically the land was clipping through the runway, it was hard to land there, and everything was messed up. Now, if you want to solve those problems, really simple. Just go onto the scenery tab in the settings and turn up autogen and turn up mesh. Well, autogen just increase the number of Gs, but turn up like the mesh resolution and things. And the reason that will help you is it basically means that it's more precise in the way the land curves, and therefore the land will curve under the runway rather than just making like one big slope through the runway. So definitely do that. And also, when I first got onto FSX, I was flying around England because I live in England, so I was going to see some places that I knew, and the standard scenery is all right, but the whole world was brown, and I was like, this is not what England looks like. Why is the whole world brown? Quick answer, my friends, very, very simple, is that to change this, you literally go into time and date, and you set it to be summer. And that's what I'm flying in now, because if it's in winter, the world will be brown. Right, okay, I've throttled all the way down. Prepare the brakes. Prepare the brakes. Prepare over the fence. Reverse engines on. Touchdown. Not on the centre line, but indeed it was an alright landing. So we can now turn off the engines, and we can open the door. Oops, I just started the engine. Shifty, not controlly. There we go. There you go. Well, anyway, we've arrived in St. Martin. You can see the lorries just weirdly driving around. It's a nice car park. Looks pretty good, if you ask me. So we're gonna now watch the replay of that landing, because I want to see it from the exterior view. Okay, so using this add-on, I'm going to first of all shut the doors, okay, because they're still open. It doesn't record them, but it does record the flight. Next, I'm going to change it to outside locked spot, so it doesn't do this weird jumping around, which is, there you go, it's fixed itself now, and we're just going to watch it from the side. We're just going to see how smooth the landing was. Now there's a little thing up here, this is not in the base game, this is using the mod FS Recorder, and that was an absolute buster. Now I just want to see whether we died at the point of crossing the fence. So I'm going to skip back a tiny bit. In fact, I'm going to skip back I'm going to skip back to about there, and now I'm going to, there we go, we're going to change the recording speed, the playback speed to about 33%, and I'm going to pause it there. And we're going to see, would we have died? Yeah, we would. The wheels are in the fence there. But still, it was pretty good. I've got crash physics off, otherwise I probably would have been in crash. But other than that, that was a pretty good landing, if you ask me. Watch the touchdown of the wheels. I could have flared a little more. But other than that, beautiful. So, yeah, that's FS Recorder and the replay. Now, I'm going to go to Princess Juliana Airport, where we will fly the 737. Okay, so we're here in the Ryanair 737. As you can see, the cockpit models are good. They're not X-plane, but they are good. A lot of this is interactable, and to make it easier, if you don't want to do that, you can click F10, and that puts it into something called a 2D cockpit. There we go. Here we go. So we're in the 2D cockpit now. I don't want this. Okay, and now you can change all the switches more easily, and most of these are actually like usable. So you can use the autopilot, you can plot ILS landings, you can do heading holds and all of that. So it's really, really good. So we're going to go back to the 3D cockpit view, which is called the virtual cockpit, because it looks a lot better. And we're going to take off here from Princess Juliana Airport. So we're going to increase the flaps a tiny bit. We are going to set, let's say, the altitude. This is how you would take off if we were actually going to do a flight, which I might do at some point if you guys want to see that. We'll set it for 245, since you're not actually allowed to go above 250 under 10,000 feet, I think. So there we go. We're going to set the heading to be the runway heading, which is 09. Yep, so 90. So we're going to switch that up. There we go. Now Airbus have a lot more complicated systems, because you have to like click the end of the knob, but this should be fine. And then altitude, we're going to set it to be 4,000 to start with, because that's a nice number. I don't normally have a problem. So we're going to click altitude hold, we're going to click heading select. There we go, and you can see it toggled in the vertical speed. Now you can change the vertical speed. There we go. Now the this the speed. We're going to turn it, activate it, but we need to arm the auto throttle. So I'm just going to click the auto throttle, and the aircraft should now take itself off. If we wait for it. Here we go. Now you can do this manually using the throttle, but I always find that auto throttle does it just fine. And why we're quite... Okay, so heading hold just locked itself on, which is a bit... I'm just going to turn everything off for a second. I don't know where we're going, or why we're going there. Let's go back to the runway. We just led the runway. Right, okay, so let's just... What? I don't think I have control of the aeroplane right now. So let's just take... Let's just turn this off for a minute. Flight. Right, okay, and that means that now, please, can I have control of my own aircraft? Please? What is going on? I'm so confused right now. I'm going to spawn back on the runway and I'll catch up with you again. Right, okay, so one of the engines wasn't started. That's my bad. Just click Control E to auto start, and now I'm going to take off manually because I don't trust the autopilot anymore. So now this aircraft is a add-on. So it has something called, I think the GWS schoolhouse, I can't remember. But it's basically got a co-pilot built in. And that means it will tell us
80 knots.
There we go, 80 knots. It's telling us our speed is 80 knots. Now we have to wait to V1, which is the point at which we have to take off. We can't return, like we can't stop in time before the end of the runway. Wait for it. Well, the speed of
V1.
Yeah, and then
Rotate.
there we go, rotate. And so then we pull up
V2.
the nose, and V2 is the speed at which we can continue flying on one engine from there on. And there we go, a low. I don't know what the cars are doing there. A low yet successful takeoff, and we are now flying. Now, I have a slight problem with the mountain right here, so I'm going to pitch up drastically. But in a second this won't matter since it's so beautiful. I can't get over how beautiful it is. Anyway, in a second this won't matter because I'm going to use the map again to move us back so we can do a landing, and that will be it for today. Okay, so normally when landing on a runway, you'd use something called ILS, which is Instrument Landing System, and a lot of you probably already know this. But for those who don't, I will explain. Basically, the aeroplane lines itself up with the runway using like beacons, and then it lines itself up so it lands with the runway basically. Okay, we're overspeeding, so I'm going to pop up the spoilers, which I shouldn't do in the air. But other than that, there we go. Right, okay. So now we are on path. So I'm not going to use ILS because we're not close enough to use ILS. But
Ladies and gentlemen, in preparation for landing, please check to see that your seatbelt is securely fastened and that your tray table and seat back are in the upright lock position. Also, at this time, please turn off any portable electronic equipment until we're parked at the gate. Flight attendants will be doing their...
oh, that was interesting. It just played me like some information. But anyway, what I mean is, what I'm saying is, I will just fly it annually because we're not far enough away to start ILS approach. So I'm just going to follow the PAPI lights, which stands for Precision Approach Path Indicator, maybe, I think. I want 2 red and 2 white, and I'm just going to land gently on this runway, hopefully buttering it, but possibly not. Now, the 737 stops like a beast. It's amazing. It probably stops faster than... I don't know, I was trying to think of a small aircraft that it probably stops faster than that. I don't know. But it stops fast. It definitely stops faster than something like an A380, which runs for a long time. But it doesn't stop faster than the Antonov in flight gear. I think it was the Antonov in flight gear, which landed super unrealistically quickly. Maybe. What game was it? We're actually stalling out at the moment. So.
Don't sink.
Okay. I think it was flight gear. One aircraft stopped like stupidly quickly. I don't think I ever actually landed the Antonov, so I don't know about that. Actually, I might have in something else. I don't remember. Basically, it's fast at stopping. Now we're going to wait for the pappy lights to come. One red and one white. While talking to you, I lost it there. So we got one white at the moment. Or yellow. There we go. Now we're going to try and keep them that way. So I'm too high now. Red means too low. White means too high. Now I'm way too high. So we're going to throttle back again. Try and lose some of that speed. There we go. We're pretty much back on approach again. So it doesn't matter if you don't get them right, you just need to like use them to help. So if they're all white, you know you're definitely too high, and if they're all red, you're definitely too low. Now they'll be all red to start with, you just have to fly so that they become all like in between the two. Now that's a nice hotel to the left, which we might be crashing into if this goes horribly wrong. Okay, I was just checking my gears were out. Right, okay, throttle's all the way down. Right, reverse speed is on, brakes are on, spoilers are out, and we'll then watch this runway, this landing back, and then we will end the video. There we go, nice landing here on the runway. So let's now watch that back. Okay, so we're back again, and what I was saying is that we're just going to watch this replay back and that'll be the end of the video. But anyway, guys, the reason I haven't been uploading is because I've been very busy, and also the channel was not doing that well. But now we have passed 100 subscribers. We are at 110, and I thank you for that support that you gave me. Ooh, that was a hard landing. But it got stopped, so, and also we lived up to the Ryanair name. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please check out my Discord. You can join if you like. Not much goes on there at the moment, but you can join and you can make it a more lively place. Patreon is down below. You don't have to support, but it's there. Other than that, just subscribe and like the video, because I know a lot of you aren't subscribed. But if you are, thank you. And if you're not, subscribe. Yeah, to your right. There we go. And like the video, of course. Comment down below with any other ideas if you want to see more FSX. And that's all for today, guys. See you next time. Goodbye.